Welcome back, folks, to patch 1.5 on the common test server. So it is the second iteration of the common test. I was trying to do the hidden vehicles video, but they turned off the test server for the update. So now we have the nerf to the Japanese heavies and a few other small stuff. But let's take a look at the hidden vehicles added in this patch. Now before we start, they did not include the tier 3 Russian light tank premium for the anniversary gift. That is the T116. I'll post the initial stats page as editing screenshot right now, but it feels kind of fast. It's a light tank, it's a dust collector. I usually don't play tier 3s or anything below tier 5s, so whatever. But alright, that's the free one. Also, we're missing the recent FV1066, the Senlac. So that's mostly recent, so you're not supposed to see it right away. But it's a premium tier 8 British light tank. So we could get British light tank line coming soon, because usually we get a tier 8 premium for training the crew of the upcoming supposed tank branch. So like how we got the Lansen for the Swedish medium tanks, basically you get a premium tier 8 usually. But let's take a look at the tier 6 premium American tank destroyer. So it's basically a Chafee with a Jackson or Slugger's turret. So M36 turret on a T24 Chafee or M24 Chafee light tank. But yeah, alright, it's like a pseudo Hellcat hybrid, because the actual Hellcat never had the Jackson turret, it just had the stock turret and a 76mm, never had the 90, until they made it a super Hellcat. So this is basically a super Chafee, you could call it that, but alright, it's a premium tier 6 American tank destroyer. You have quite a few American TDs now. You have the TS5, which we recently got for the marathon. We have the M56 Scorpion, this vehicle. So now there are 3 American TDs, I think. But yeah, is it worth your time for this vehicle? Well, if you like the Hellcat, this thing is right up your alley. So it's about the same horsepower per ton ratio, but it is not as fast. Only 55 kilometers per hour top speed, whereas the Hellcat has like 72. So it will feel slower in a straight line, but it turns about the same. I'm looking at the stats on Tank Inspector right now off screen, but yeah, it looks about the same. It has slightly better terrain resistance than the Hellcat for medium terrain. I'll post the actual screenshot of the Tank Inspector stats, multiple stats on page right now. But taking a look at the firepower, it is the same gun basically. So same penetration, same alpha, but this gun has better dispersion than the Hellcat. Not as good on the Jackson, because the Jackson is slower. So this vehicle feels like a hybrid of the Jackson accuracy, but slower than the Hellcat speed. So it is faster than the Jackson, but not as accurate. It is slower than the Hellcat, but better at aiming. So it's a hybrid of the two, middle ground of the two. But 0.36 accuracy is not bad. 1.7 seconds of aim time is very quick for a 90mm. It has 47 rounds. That's pretty good, whereas the Hellcat has like 30. That's really good. Let's take a look at the Tank Inspector stuff. Give me a second. Yeah, Hellcat has like 30 rounds of the 90mm. This thing has 47. It has a smaller hull size than the Hellcat. It's the same turret. How the hell does this thing carry like 50% more rounds? More than 50% more rounds in the turret. That doesn't make sense. Alright. It's a smaller vehicle than the Hellcat. Half the Hellcat. Hellcat has a larger hull and the same turret. This thing only has 30 rounds. Whereas for this vehicle, I'm looking at all the stats right now, it's 47 rounds. You cannot see it on the actual default World of Tanks, in-game screenshot or stats page, but this thing has 47 rounds. Oh man, that is a lot better than the Hellcat. It has 600 hit points, so quite chunky. It's should be more than Hellcat. Hellcat has like 570 or something. But no armor for the hull, obviously. It's a chafy hull. And the Jackson turret. Now this turret could bounce a few shots because I played a lot of Hellcats. And the mantlet could absorb shots from across the map. From something like the 17 pounders from the Achilles. So about 170 millimeters of pen will bounce off of this mantlet, but don't depend on it. So camouflage rating is slightly better than the Jackson, but it's not nearly as close as the Hellcat, so this thing is not as stealthy. Horsepower per down ratio is close to the Hellcat, less than 0.8 or so, so it's about the same speed to rev up, but not as fast. So overall, it has the gun depression, it has the turret traverse speed, it's faster to traverse the turret than the Hellcat, and it's okay in terms of DPM, 1800. That's not bad for a tier 6, but it's a 90mm, so it does punch better. And what I found out after playing the Achilles is that I would rather have a 90mm than a rapid firing 17 pounder, because usually you get spotted real quickly, and if you get spotted in tier 6 matchups, usually you don't have that much health and you get blown up by 2 or 3 hits. So I don't know, but it's American TD, so it's a premium, makes more credits and crew XP. Alright, concealment is, yeah, it's slightly better than the Jackson, but not as close to the Hellcat. Okay, and view range is 370, the same as the Hellcat. So what would I give out of this vehicle? The main good part about this vehicle is you could train your crews for the Hellcat. So it's a 4-man crew. How many crew does the Hellcat have? 5? 5-man crew with a radio operator. So you cannot train the radio operator. That's a downside, but the upside is you carry 17 more rounds, which is like 17 out of 30. That's more than 50%. That's like 54%? Jesus! That's 54 or so. Math sucks. But here is a comparison of all the stats, of all the basic 100% crew and other stuff. So as we can see, it turns faster for the turret, and that's a big deal to prevent you from being circle strafed by light tanks. Same gun depression, same elevation. Oh yeah, the Achilles sucks in terms of gun depression. That's what also sucks about it. Aim time is not as fast, but I think 1.7 seconds is pretty close enough. So 0.36 accuracy. When the hell does the Hellcat have 0.34? Huh. So accuracy wise, I thought the Hellcat has worse accuracy than the Jackson. Never mind. Alright. Still, 0.36 accuracy is okay. It's mediocre, it's not good, it's not bad, it's alright. So health wise, yeah, it has more health than the Jackson and the Hellcat combined. Has more armor for the hull, but not as good as the Jackson. Same 76 millimeters of turret mantlet armor. Weighs between the Jackson and the Hellcat. Has about the same horsepower per ton ratio as the Hellcat. Not as bad as the Jackson. Alright, top speed of 55, not as bad as the Jackson, but not close to the Hellcat, yada yada yada. Traverse is the same for the hull. Camouflage is better than the Jackson, but not as close to the Hellcat. So intermediate, same view range, standard radio. Alright, so out of 10, how much would I give this vehicle? It is a premium, and the big upside, like I said, is the 47 rounds of the 90mm, which is a big plus, because once you play with the Hellcat, you'll realize 30 rounds is not that much to spam with. Whereas if you play with the Jackson, holy crap, this thing has like so many shells. This thing has 47 rounds, so it is basically a Jackson with faster speed, but worse accuracy, dispersion wise. So, is it worth it? I think it is. I play with the Jackson. I like the Jackson. I like the Hellcat. I kept my Wolverine as well as the T77. So, I have the both vehicles of the both line. But, I mean, it's good. It's fairly decent. I mean, let's take a look at the dispersion off screen. it's better than the Hellcat. It's not as good as the Jackson, so give or take. Alright, it's fine. I mean, it is at least healthy and chunky in terms of health. But what's surprising is, how the hell does this vehicle have 47 rounds of the 90mm, whereas the Hellcat has only 30? The fuck? Where the hell do you keep the shells? Outside of the vehicle? It is the same turret, after all. I mean, you could understand that the Jackson has more shells because of the hull. The hull is bigger. You can carry more shells. But the Chevy is a smaller vehicle. Alright, let's move on to the next thing. And next, we have the AMX 13th turret on an M4A1 Sherman's hull. So it's basically like the Super Sherman at Tier 8, the revalorized in terms of design, but it is an AMX 13th turret. So it is an autoloader, has 4 rounds in the magazine, but it kind of reminds you of the M42/57, the Swedish Tier 6 medium, in sense of AMX 13th turret on a medium tank's hull, but it is a Tier 6 premium, French medium, so it should be a whatever premium addition to the game. It's not supposed to signal a new line of French medium tanks. That doesn't make sense. We could have it, but it'll be mostly paper tanks or so. But alright, I mean, you already have the revalorized, which is basically a M51 Sherman, but with the original A1 Sherman's hull. So kind of disappointing that they chose the early variant of the Sherman's hull, not the A3 variant. With the, it's like the Sherman Firefly 5C in terms of the vehicle's hull. I don't like the egg shape. I like the smooth, edgy part, edgelord. So overall, it's basically a Sherman tank with an autoloader in a sense, but let's take a look at the stats. So mobility first, 17.55 horsepower per ton ratio, that is above average by 1.5. Terrain resistance is below average for hard and soft, above average for medium, so give or take. Top speed of 45 kilometers per hour, top speed, reverse of 20. Hull traverse is pretty quick, about 45 for the hull traverse speed. That's pretty insane. Alright. That is nuts. This thing turns pretty quick for the hull. So overall speed wise, it's, I mean, not bad. It's not that bad in terms of, well, top speed could be a little bit better, but then again, it's a Sherman hull, so give or take. Alright, it's fairly decent for a medium in terms of speed. Survivability, it's a Sherman, 50 at the front, 38 at the sides, and 40 for the turret front. So it's basically a light tank, in sense. It's a large light tank. Don't depend on the armor, there is none. So firepower, it is a 4-round autoloader, so it has 4 shells, takes 1.75 seconds between each shell, takes about 14 seconds or 13 seconds for the clip to reload. So if you have a good crew, this thing could go down to, let's see, let me put a enhanced gun lane drive off screen, as well as with, can you put vertical stabilizer on this thing? No, you could not. So it is like the STRV M4257, where you cannot put a vertical stabilizer on these vehicles. So what I recommend is probably enhanced gun lane drive, coated optics, and vents, pretty much. Alright, so let me take a look at my M4257. But there are no low tier French mediums. There is the AMX CDC, as well as, what's other French premium medium tanks? Quick trivia. Ooh. Can't think of any French premium medium tanks. Oh, Lorraine, the Lorraine 40T. Ugh. But as with the Swedish, so I would recommend coated optics, vents, as well as the enhanced gun lane drive. You cannot put vertical stabilizer, so that's out of the question, but it kind of reminds me of this vehicle. Has more health than this thing though. So let's continue to take a look. But gun traverse is relatively fast for an autoloader oscillating turret. Penetration is okay. It's not great, but 148 is not that bad. I mean, the pretty good penetration is basically the 17 pounders, but then again, that's a 17 pounder. So that's alright, it's fine. And this thing could clip out 4 rounds in the clip. So basically 4 times 135, that's about 500 alpha, 520-ish alpha. That's pretty good for about 13 seconds. 13 seconds plus the 3 times, so that's about like 16 seconds. That's pretty good in terms of burst damage. But it has 72 rounds, and yeah, it's a bursty. It's all with all autoloaders. So basically how you play this vehicle is support. You support other tanks like heavies or other mediums, but you cannot be on the front lines. This vehicle does not have armor. Concealment is below average, but it is a medium tank after all. Large, tall Shermans usually don't have that much view range. Actually, 270 is not bad. Alright, so above average view range, below average concealment, weighs about 30 tons. Good stuff. I mean, let's take a look at the crew. Oh no. If you're playing the AMX 30s, you cannot train your loader with this vehicle because they don't have radio operator. They have a loader. So what the hell do you get a radio operator for? Like a low tier AMX 40? First of all, the bad chats don't have the radio operator for such a thing. So let me take a look off screen at Tank Inspector, but and let's just take a look at the bad chat in the actual game. But jeez, what the hell do you get a radio operator for the French for this vehicle? You have to train a blank vehicle loader? Yeah, you don't have a loader for the bad chats. What the hell do you gonna get? Oh, you don't have a radio operator. My mistake. What the hell do you go get the radio operator for? Like the AMX 30s? 40s? Even the AMX 40 doesn't have it. 38? 30 has only 2 crew? Holy shit. Where the hell do you get radio operator for this thing? Oh my god. FCM doesn't have it. R35? Holy shit. I don't think you can have a... Oh, it's a light tank. Duh. I thought I need mediums. Oh my lord. Does the SRL 42 have one? Nope. G1R? Yeah, you can get one from the G1R. Wonderful. Jesus Christ! There's no radio operator for this thing. Oh, that might be a problem, but... So, out of scale of 10, how much would I rate this? It is a pretty bursty gun for only 13 seconds of... Oh, how much seconds? 13 seconds of reload. That is pretty good. I mean, if you get to the size of a vehicle, this thing bursts for about 500 damage. It has 4 rounds in a clip. Whereas the STRV M42 57 has only like... It also has 4 rounds, right? Yeah, it also has 4 rounds. What the hell am I talking about? Well, let's see. Oh, the STRV has more alpha. That's right. The same amount of shells in the clip, but it takes longer to load, and 2 seconds between each shot. So DPM wise, I think the STRV wins. No? Wow. Well, it has better accuracy. Faster to aim. But this thing is taller than the STRV. Alright. Gun traverse speed is faster. Wait, that's gun traverse speed. What about turret traverse speed? I think that is the turret traverse speed. Alright, fine. More health. Better engine power. Huh. Not as good camo, obviously, but more view range. Well, if you like the STRV M42 57, you'll like this thing, but downside is it doesn't punch as hard as the STRV, but it gets better DPM because of faster reload, slightly. So yeah, if you like the STRV, you'll like this thing, but it has nowhere near close to the 17 pounder, obviously. So, but still better than the normal Sherman tanks. But out of 10, how much would I rate this? I mean, getting caught off guard and having 4 rounds jam into your engine deck, that would suck. But I would say 8 out of 10. I mean, it's still pretty good when you think about the ability to jam 4 rounds into an engine deck, but it's large, obviously, so that might be a downside. Only 6 degrees of gun depression, also another downside, but it is the AMX-13's turret after all. So yeah, 8 out of 10, definitely. As for the Chafee Jackson thing, I would say also another 8 out of 10. So pretty decent. Not bad. Not bad at all. And lastly, we have the Škoda T77. This is basically the prime example that a premium tank is better than the tier 8 counterpart. So it is a premium tier 8 Czechoslovakian medium tank. It has an autoloader 88. It's a lot better than the TVPVTU. A lot better. So let's take a look at the mobility first. It has about 22.5 horsepower per ton ratio, and that is above average by 4.46. So that's pretty good. Terrain resistance is below average slightly, so to counteract the above average horsepower per ton ratio. 50 kilometers per hour top speed. It's average, but still pretty good. Reverse of 20. So alright, weighs about 40 tons. That's pretty hefty for a medium tank, and for such a high horsepower per ton ratio, you could go ramming light tanks, but alright. Hull traverse is pretty quick, 46 degrees per second. It's not bad for a medium. It is a fast medium. It does need the speed because this thing has no armor. 65 for the hull front, 100 for the turret front. Does have pretty high health though, so that's pretty good for 1450 health. It's close to a heavy tank, very close, but this thing doesn't have armor, so you can't take a hit. It does have the somewhat pike-shaped hull nose, a little bit, but it's mostly about the gun on these vehicles. So for the firepower, it's an autoloader 88, has 202 millimeters of pen, 240 alpha, so slightly better penetration than the German L71, which is a copy of the original for the TVP-VTU, but you can also choose to use 105, which is a different story, whatever. But turret traverse speed, pretty quick. 41 for autoloading turret. It's not bad. That's very good. It has 3 shells in the magazine, takes 1.8 seconds between each shots, and about 19 seconds for the click to load. So basically a DPM about 1900 or about 2000 with a good crew and vents. Very quick aim time, 0.36 accuracy, mediocre but still not bad for an autoloader. So in essence, it's like a smaller version of a Škoda T50 at tier 8, which basically is a lot better than the freaking TVP-VTU. My god. Crew, it fits, so it's good. No radio operator like the M4A1 AMX-13 turret FL10, so pretty nice. I mean, it's an 88. It carries 54 rounds. That's kind of hefty. That's pretty decent. Let's take a look at the other stats. It has fairly good gun dispersion for turret traverse. I'm taking a look off screen, but it's above average for all of them, so that's pretty good shooting on the move. And 8 degrees of gun depression. Not bad. I mean, it could be worse, like 5 or 6. So, yeah, it's pretty decent. Let's see, concealment 13. It's below average slightly, but it's not as bad as you think. Shell price is actually pretty cheap compared to the standard ones, so okay. It will see tier 10s, but it is a premium, so alright. It's a lot better than the TVP-VTU. I can guarantee that. I can guarantee you that this thing is a lot better than the TVP-VTU. TVP-VTU has 6 degrees of gun depression, even with the 88. I think it's worse with the 105. Let's see. So for the 105, 6 again. Oh Jesus, 6 degrees of gun depression sucks ass. So DPM wise, let's see, it's better than the TV PVTU compared to the 105, compared to the 88. Copy of the German L71 should be. And DPM is not as good, but hey, you don't have that much, you have more penetration. It's not as bad as the penetration department. Gun traverse speed, still above average. Alright. Has the same hit points, same hull armor, better turret armor. Alright. Same top speed, same reverse speed. Let's see, let me compare it with the terrain resistance off screen. Give me a sec. Same terrain resistance for all of them. Same top speed, same reverse speed, same hull traverse. Alright. Better brake force by 10,000 newtons, if you're wondering. So better by 33%. So it stops faster than the TV PVTU. Alright. Has better horsepower per ton ratio. Alright. Better camo. Better view range. Not as good radio, but it's better than, I mean, it's standard above 700. So yeah, it's better than the TV PVTU. God damn it. I mean, I would think this vehicle would still be decent in front lines. Now, compared to the Projecto is very popular in front lines, as well as Lorraine 40T. So, as a frontline vehicle, would this vehicle be worth it? What the hell with the standard Panther? What? Alright. Obviously, it doesn't have the penetration, but you could spam gold. And gold shell is 242. So, I mean, it's an 88, and it's still pretty good to have 3-round bursts of the 88, giving you about, 700 alpha burst with the gun if you pin all 3 shells. But in all essence, this vehicle is a lot better than this piece of shit. Oh my god, I hate it. It's a lot better than TV PVTU. A lot better. And that's, why is it premium? Why couldn't we just have this thing as the normal tier 8 and have the TV PVTU as the premium? That would be messed up, because you have the Škoda T40 at tier 6, which is basically a copy of this thing. Logistically, the same copy of this thing. More realistic copy. But this vehicle will be so much better as a normal tank, introducing you to the Škoda T50, into the 5051 at tier 10, because I have the T50 and this thing is great. I have the 5051, this thing is amazing. So I don't know, I mean, you could train your medium tanker like this one. This is also pretty fun, the Škoda T25, but god damn, the TV PVTU feels out of place. The T34/100 feels out of place. Like, those two vehicles feels wonky in the tech tree. So why the hell do we even need them? But out of 10, this vehicle would get probably... It's only the penetration that's having me a little bit shaken off, because 202 millimeters of pen is okay. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's like the original average for medium tanks at tier 8. Now it's about 220 to 210 or so. That is about the good aspect, or above average aspect, of a light tanks or medium tanks penetration at tier 8. Light medium, not heavy medium like the Super Pershing. So okay, out of 10, 8.5. Yeah, mostly because this thing is driving up the score, because this thing sucks so hard. But there you go, folks, the 3 new hidden vehicles added in this patch. So it's not bad. All of them doesn't feel that bad. I mean, there are no turds in the punch bowl, and there are no tier 9 special vehicles that I know of. So you can take a look right now to see if there's the addition of the hidden special tier 9 for front lines. but nope. I don't see any, so I don't see any at all. Oh no, Škoda T50. I mean, we could have the WZ120 GFT, but we already talked about that, so nope. No special tier 9s, but we'll see. But there you go, folks. That's all the hidden vehicles adding this patch. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Also, I forgot to mention, they haven't updated the shop for buying vehicles with bonds. So I tried to look for buying vehicles, special vehicles for bonds. There's no vehicles tab, so you cannot buy the T1 Cunningham or T2 or something for the test, but you cannot buy vehicles for bonds yet. So they say that they will update the list on release day for 1.5 of all the vehicles they could buy for bonds, but currently on the test server I don't see anything. So alright, there's the update to the maps, so you can exclude the map that you don't like. Funny enough, this kind of looks like Ruinberg, so exclude Ruinberg from your matchmaking. It looks about the same as Ruinberg. Alright, but you also get a bonus to premium accounts, so you get premium missions and additional 750 credits per week. But that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Listen to me. I despise, 'cause it means destruction of this life. War means tears to thousands of mothers.